I'm going live now, please. Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 2 of the Proctive Parents Conference. I am super excited to welcome you to this platform. It is day 2 of the Proctive Parents Conference, and we'll be hosting in today's sessions. So if you join me live, make sure you share this video with your family and friends. Get everyone in your circle to be part of this conversation, right? So it is important that you do not join here alone. It is important that you share this video link with everyone around you. We'll be talking about in the first session one of the challenges, the greatest challenges of modern parenting, drugs. And I want everyone of us to be ready. Are you ready? I'm saying that here, ready. Jane, welcome. I can see you. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. What I wish to say this page is that we will be starting this conference, ending this conference, then comes the beginning. That's where the work begins, right? And one of those things that we'll be doing is to go deep down, start the excavation, which is why our theme of the year is be more. How can you be more? And then in being more, we have an acronym to bring out the 3 elements of what we want to establish: planting, rooting, and uprooting, right? And if you were in the opening speech yesterday, you heard me say that a lot of things have been planted in the past that needs to be uprooted. A lot of things have also be rooted that needs to be uprooted, right? Going by our upbringing and the way we were raised, our family background and experiences, and all of the things that make up our being. Sometimes it's nice to be, come and listen and go. It is at the end of the conference journey begins, right? The journey begins after the conference, and where we begin this whole process is in the tribe. The Build a Home Tribe is an annual program we run in the academy where we begin to walk the journey of process. We need to understand that just coming to learn in the conference is not enough. No session, no one conference, no one course can give you what it takes to build the journey. It is a process. It is a journey. And because there's nothing like we have just understood it, that's why the Build Your Home Tribe program annually, so we can walk a process deep, do the inner work, do the excavations that will help us understand planting, rooting, and what to uproot. That's the journey of becoming. That's the person who joins the stream. Make sure everyone in your circle is part of this conversation. This conversation is what to become challenges of modern parenting. It is one of the challenges that every modern parent is part of, what it is that we need to do or what is required of us, right? So we will be bringing up our moderator before the start comes in, but I want us to establish an for registration. And right in this conference, one of the gifts we are giving out is for parents who come early and join the stream. We're already taking is that giving a free slot to 10 parents who were consistently joining the stream and early. So we'll be having a free slot for 10 parents amidst other gifts that we'll have. However, it's open and see that registration link is also going on the screen, right? So we need to begin to walk the journey. Do not come to this conference and coming to listen without being part of the conversation that is ongoing, the process, understand what it is that you're doing. Because as you are growing, as the children are growing, you are also growing. That this conference is not just come and listen, it is the beginning of the journey. After the 6 days comes the inner work, the real deal. So book your slots, the link will be, book your slots and make sure you join the Build a Home Tribe 2025, right? It is something that we need every one of us to be part of. Every parent coming to this stream, every parent joining us in this conference, every parent out there raising young children in a time like this, make sure you are part of the Build a Home Tribe program in 2025. It is a journey of process. We'll be having network issues. We'll also be, bringing up the tribers and who have shared their experiences with the tribe, so we can also listen to them, right? So it is important that we know that after the conference begins the journey. So book your slots for the Build a Home Tribe 2025, I beg your pardon, and welcome in day 2. We'll be bringing the moderator for this session, and we'll take it up from there.
Hello everyone, welcome to Okay. Oh, you see that stop for the persons, but
Don't know. Camera is oh, it's camera.
hello. Welcome to this amazing session. Today is the day 2 of the Proctive Parent Academy conference. Welcome once again for joining the Proctive Parent. Sorry about the network issues. Welcome once again to the Proactive Parent Academy Conference 2024. We will be learning from an amazing speaker, 3 amazing speakers today. Please inform your friends, your family members, relatives, so that everyone could learn from this amazing session. We will be listening to an amazing speaker in some few minutes, but for now, we'll be reading his bio to know more about him. Please indicate that you can hear me, you can see me. I'll be looking at the comments to be sure that everyone can hear me. I can't hear him. I can't be heard. I can't hear him. So thank you for this amazing. Please indicate so I'll know whether you can hear me and you can see me. Network is actually breaking. So today we'll be having an amazing speaker. David Folarumi will be here in a bit, in a few minutes time. Our amazing speaker, our guest, will be joining us. Actually, the network is itching. Right now, network itches. Please, can you hear me? Indicate, can you see me? Hope I'm heard. I'm not talking to myself. Hope I'm heard. Thank you for joining this amazing session. We'll be welcoming our speaker in a few minutes. In a minute's time.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? I can't hear you. I think you're muted. You need to check if you're on mute. I can't hear you. Can you hear? I can't hear you.
Ask him if he can hear you now.
Can you hear me, sir?
Oh yes, I can hear you now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for joining.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.
The pleasure is mine.
So the next time I'll be meeting with you, you'll be rounding up.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you, sir.
Can I go ahead? Okay, I think I'll take that as a yes. to go ahead and start our session for today. I'd like to say good afternoon to everybody. Thank you for joining us at the Proactive Parents Conference 2024. I'd like to thank our convener, Coach Vivian Ichioma Ani, for the privilege to be one of the facilitators in this conference this year. I think as parents globally, generally, we need to embrace proactiveness as against a fire brigade approach or reactiveness to situations. So as parents, we must understand that it is our fundamental responsibility to create the future we want for our children. Somebody is going to say, what is Coach David saying? Are we God? Yes, the Bible says ye are gods. The Bible says ye are gods. So what it means to be proactive, it means to be able to tell the end from the beginning. And as parents, when God gives us the blessings of children, we must engage the virtue of proactiveness. We can create an environment for our children to thrive in. That makes you a proactive parent. We can help to shape him, not because of what we want. I'm not saying because you want your child to be a doctor or a lawyer, you send them to medical school or law school. No. In the place of prayer and seeking the face of God, you can help to direct, dictate, or create the future that God has for your children. A life of purpose. Before your children were formed in the womb, God has known them. God has ordained them to be something. As parents, we are supposed to search that out and ensure that our children live in that line. That is what it means to be proactive. So once again, I want to say a big thank you to Coach Vivian for an opportunity to speak on a topic that I am very passionate about. One, because of my experiences with issues bordering on this topic, and two, because of how it has affected several families and is currently affecting several families. When we have parenting conferences like this, some of us might ask, why exactly are we studying the subject of drug or substance abuse? The truth is, we are witnessing an unprecedented decrease in the age of initiation into drug use. And we have several children between the ages of 8, 9, 10, 11, who are actively using substances. Last year, I went to Lagos for an outreach program in a school, a very expensive school where they pay millions. I've told this story several times. And then when I finished delivering my paper, 3 young girls came out to me and said, "Sir, we want to talk to you." I said, "What about?" Immediately I saw them. Because of my experience with drug use and my training as a professional in the field, I could tell with all certainty that at least 2 out of the 3 of them were using substances. I wasn't too sure about the third. And when they began speaking, the one in the middle, who I was 100% sure was using substances, said to me, "Sir, I'm using drugs. And I can't help myself. It is so bad that I cannot assimilate what is taught in school anymore without using substances." As she spoke, she began to cry. My heart broke because at that time I was a father of 2 girls. Now I have 3 daughters. And I began to wonder, where did it go wrong for this precious little girl? I mean, with the school she was in and how expensive that school is, I knew her parents had to be alive, because it wasn't a school where orphans could go to. It wasn't a school where NGOs or charity organizations could sponsor somebody to attend. So I tried not to portray the emotions that were eating me up inside. And I kept a smiling face so she can continue speaking. I said, "Have you told your dad this?" She said, "Daddy is never around." I said, "Where does your dad work?" He said, her dad works in Abuja. He's a politician. He's in the House of Assembly. I said, "Where is mommy?" She said, "Mommy is in the Middle East. She's a trader in precious stones." I said, "Oh my God. So who takes care of you?" She said she has one uncle and they have quite a number of stewards in their home. I said, "So how do you get access to these drugs?" She said, "Well, she has people in her school that gets for her." I said, "How did you start?" She said, 2 years ago, she was looking for something in her father's room. She came across a bottle of Menace that was open and she decided to drink it. She got intoxicated. After a while, she shared the experiences with some of her friends, who now said there's something else she can smoke called marijuana that will make her feel even more intoxicated. She bought into the idea, did that, used marijuana for about a year, and then 3 months ago, somebody introduced her to cocaine in secondary school. I said, "Have you told your teachers? Have you told your guidance and counselor?" She said, "Our counselor talks too much." And that just broke me the more, because in a school where you are paying millions of naira, that you have a counselor that does not understand the ethics of the profession, that school should be shut down. To cut the long story short, we set up an intervention for her, got her medical attention, found out that her kidney was already getting, her liver, first of all, was getting bad, and eventually found out that the kidney too had a problem. As I speak to you, she's currently in India awaiting a kidney transplant. Now, listen, this is just one out of several stories of young persons who are struggling with drug use. About a month ago, I was invited again. Not necessarily invited, I got a call from a mother who was crying about her daughter who was in the bunk. The bunk are these places where people use drugs, live there, and don't want to come out. She said, "Please, somebody give me your number. They said you can help my daughter. Please, can you help me and get her out of this place?" We went there, and then I found the daughter because I had a picture. So we went to the several dark spots in the city of Enugu where I reside. We found the daughter. And you know what? When I requested from the people who were in charge of that place that we were going to take this girl back home, they said, "Well, she's owing us some money. Over 100,000 she had used on credit in buying drugs." Now, this is a 16-year-old. The first story I told you about in Lagos was a 13-year-old. So she said they have used up the money. I said, "Okay, we're going to pay for it, but we need to get this girl out of here." And you know what? The girl started begging me that she doesn't want to leave the bunk. she wanted to stay there. Precious people of God, drug abuse is tearing families apart. I know of a story of a family in Abuja married for 28 years that broke up because their son was using drugs. Several cases of death by overdose in our Nigerian institutions. We can go on and on and on, but that's not why we are here. The primary reason why we are here is to discuss the way out, is to discuss the role of parents in curbing the menace of drug abuse in our families, in our societies, and in the nation as a whole. I have reiterated several times. A few months ago, I was invited to a training, a workshop in Lagos, where we had participants from all over the world. And when everybody was we're talking, seriously about what the way out is, I said the most potent way we can end the scourge of drug abuse in our family is if parents wake up to the responsibility of drug abuse prevention. Until parents wake up to the responsibility of drug abuse prevention, we will keep dancing round in circles. So bad, children abusing substances, yes, a lot of it. We see it every day now. Until parents wake up to the responsibility of prevention, we will keep dancing around in circles. We will keep hearing stories of children using drugs. We will keep hearing and seeing deaths by overdose. Drug abuse can be prevented, and it starts in the family. And parents being the sole custodians of the family, the responsibility rests on us. You can't delegate this responsibility to the church. No, the church has a part to play. Religious organizations have a part to play, but it is not solely their responsibility. You can't delegate this responsibility to the government. Last year at the International Society for Substance Use Professionals annual general meeting and yearly conference, I was speaking with the NDLEA chairman, chief executive. I said, sir, you are doing a great job. That's General Buba Mara, retired, Brigadier General Buba Mara. I said, well, you are doing a great job, but it's not enough. Your men are overwhelmed by the task of keeping our nation free of drug use. So as much as they want to do a good job, they don't even have the manpower. I mean, what is the ratio of young persons to officers and men of NDLEA? So wide. So how much can they actually cover? So please, if you are waiting for the government to help you out with drug abuse prevention, you are wrong. No, you are wrong. We also talk about community-based interventions or preventive measures, but it is still not enough if we as parents have not done our duties. Prevention is the only way out. Prevention is the only way out. Prevention is the only way out. I have seen people run from one rehabilitation center to the other for solution to drug abuse problem, all to no avail. By the grace of God, we run a facility in Enugu State. I also consult in one or two places, and I can tell you that the cure for drug abuse is not sure. Take this anywhere, play this anywhere, and say that Mr. David Folaranmi said categorically that the cure for drug abuse is not sure. What is the ratio of people who actually start using substances and come out and remain clean? Very low. Very low. People I've seen someone that's gone to 11 rehabilitation centers at home and abroad, all to no avail. I have seen people go to rehabilitation centers in the Middle East where they were kept on a desert island for 2 years, came back to Nigeria, and in 1 week they relapsed. So why do we want to go through this heartache when we can practice prevention? When we can do our due diligence as parents, get the requisite information we need and pass it across to our children to equip them with the right resilience to be able to say no when faced with the temptation of using substances. Prevention is not only better than cure, it is also cheaper than cure. Rehabilitation centers now costing about 1 million naira a month for something that you do not know for certain will give you results. Come on, parents, we need to wake up. We need to wake up. You can't be chasing money that is not chasing you at the expense of the destiny, the future of your child. What is more annoying is that some of us as parents are the main cause of our children's struggle with drug abuse. We hate to admit it. Irresponsible parenting, passive parenting, enabling parenting. Recently, I've told the story twice about a drug test I did on a 21-year-old. From the test, I found out that this young man was using alcohol. When I told the mother who brought him in for the test, she said, "Thank God it is only alcohol." I said, "Thank God? You mean it is okay that we have to find alcohol in the system?" He said, "No, his father allows him to drink from time to time." Enabling parents. We have parents that will literally destroy the life of a child for 30 odd years because of irresponsibility on their part, because of negligence to their duties on their part, because of ignorance. When I was making a post for this conference, I said, look, as parents, ignorance is not an excuse. Ignorance is not an excuse. We can pay for vacation. We can pay for hair. We can pay for 50-inch screen TV. We can pay for swimming pool, but we can't pay for knowledge. We can't go for classes. We can't go for training. We can't go for seminars that will equip us with knowledge that we can pass to these children so that they can live a life of purpose. What we want is fire brigade approach. Some of us just want to throw money on coaches or mentors and say, transform the life of my child. It does not work. It does not work. A woman called me and told me her daughter started using crack cocaine at the age of 13. Now the young girl is 29, she's pregnant, she's still using drugs. I said, "Ma, in your daughter's case, finding a solution is not impossible because there's nothing God cannot do. But I tell you, it is highly improbable that your daughter will come out of it." Yes. You are so careless to the point, not that your daughter was not living with you, she was living underneath your nose. At the age of 13, she started using crack cocaine. How? How? The frontal cortex of the brain is not developed till the child is 21. She has started using drugs at the age of 13. The brain is developing with instructions given to it by drug use. When that part of the brain is fully developed, it will not be able to function or give executive function without taking instructions from drug use. Parents, you need to listen up. Take caution. Take caution, take caution, take caution. You must pay the price for prevention today and enjoy a life of peace and tranquility tomorrow. You must. You must. The price for neglecting drug abuse prevention in the home can be too costly to bear. You don't want to regret it. Wake up. You don't want to regret it. Wake up. Take caution. Take caution. You have young children in your home. Have you started talking to them about drug use? Take caution. Take caution. There is nowhere that is safe from social vices. Take caution. There is no university that is void of substance use. Take caution. I'm doing a research on the prevalence of substance use in Nigerian institutions. All the private universities are there. All of them. All of them are there. Take caution. Don't think you can pay your way out of your responsibility by sending your children to some of these schools. Take caution. A few weeks ago, a mother came to my office live face to face. She told me that she wishes her son would die because of the problem he's causing them with drug use. Was I surprised? No. Why? Because this is the third time I'm hearing that from a mother. A mother called me from London the other time. She said she's going to come to Nigeria and poison her son and go back to the UK because the son has troubled her too much. I said, Mommy, are you sure you played your part? Where were you when he was growing up? Where were you? Where were you? You were chasing money in Europe. Now he has turned into a drug user. You say you are going to poison him and die. God will hold you responsible. If drug abuse is to be prevented in our society, it starts with us as parents. It starts with us as parents. Drug abuse can be prevented. I have reiterated this time without number. It starts in the family, and as custodians of the home, this responsibility rests with us. Let us look at a few ways as parents that we can prevent drug abuse in our families. A few ways we can, as parents, prevent drug abuse in our families. Number one, spiritual sensitivity. Spiritual sensitivity. I have said this before, that as parents, we are tasked by God. We have a mandate from heaven to perform spiritual oversight functions in the life of our children. You must. You must. You must. Having a child is not a biological affair alone. Being able to get a woman pregnant and she carrying the child for 9 months and putting the child to bed is a biological process. Something more important is the spiritual aspect of being a parent. And as a parent, God has tasked you to perform this function in the life of your children. Spiritual sensitivity and discernment over the family is non-negotiable as parents. You must. You can't ignore the nudges of the Holy Spirit. Sometimes these nudges come very strongly. You can choose to call it your conscience, your intuition, your sixth sense. However, they come. And we must take necessary actions in terms of prayers, investigation, seeking for knowledge, depending on the instructions given to us by the Spirit. We must. Spiritual sensitivity is a non-negotiable tool for successful parenting. Spiritual sensitivity is a non-negotiable tool for proactive parenting. Don't always wait till issues come up before you run to God in prayer. Somebody once said, pray so that you will not pray. I was talking to them at the rehabilitation center today in our morning devotion, and when we're talking about prayer, I said, listen, pray so that you will not pray. Spiritual sensitivity. You can only receive from God or from the Spirit in a place of quietness, in a place of genuine fellowship with God. One woman came to my office a few weeks ago, and she said, just in the dead of the night, while she was in the presence of God, praising God, worshiping God, she said something came to her strongly that her son had started using drugs. She had not listened to me before. She had not listened to anything that has to do with drugs before. Drug was the last thing on her mind. And this is a young boy that is doing very well in school, was given several awards in school for his behavior. But she said in the place of fellowship with God, she heard it strongly. And when she spoke to somebody, they said, go and speak to Mr. David. He will be the one that can talk to your son. So when she came, she said, this is what it is. She showed me the picture of the boy. She showed me the results of the boy. Everything on paper looks like it is impossible that this young boy could be using substances. So I said, bring him over. We invited him. I had a chat with him. I told the mother to excuse us. We had a chat with him. And under 10 minutes, he told me that in that same week, somebody had introduced him to drug use and he had started it. We were able to curtail or nip in the bud that situation because a parent was able to discern what is happening. Parents, wake up. Wake up. Planting, rooting, uprooting begins in the place of spiritual sensitivity. You need to know how to plant. You need to know what to root. You need to know what to uproot. Because a mother was spiritually sensitive, she was able to stop pain and tears and probably death from reaching her family. Wake up! Wake up! All these distractions that we have nowadays, left, right, center, social media, politics, economic issues, they are orchestrated from hell to disconnect our connection with heaven. Wake up. We must be sensitive. Number two, how do we prevent, as parents, drug abuse in our families and, of course, in the society? Number two, we must have age-appropriate conversations on drug abuse with our children. Educate your family members, especially children and teenagers, about the dangers of drug use. Let this education include the physical effects. Let it include the emotional and legal consequences. Let it include the social and the spiritual implications of using drugs. While you are having these conversations, there must be an open communication. In having these conversations, create an environment where the child feels safe, discussing their feelings, problems, and concerns without fear of judgment. Some of us are the lion of the tribe of our home. So when we even talk to our children, they are afraid to genuinely give us responses that are true, because they know that they will be judged, they will be condemned, and they will be disciplined. Of course, wrong discipline. So create an environment where the children feel safe while having this open communication. And children figure us out very easily. The children of nowadays, they know when you are being real with them. So don't come back from an office when you are tired and come and ask them, okay, let's talk about drug. Drug is this, drug is that, drug is this, drug is that. Then you go and sleep. You have passed no information. You have not communicated. And they know it. I always talk about how I discuss with my daughter. By the way, she's only 4 years old. I will ask her, when I ask her about school, I don't say how is school. School is fine. Open-ended questions don't help us in parenting. How is school? School is fine. Okay, since school is fine, you go to your room and go and sleep. No! When I ask my daughter questions, I ask her down to, I call the names of her classmates because I know all of them. Every single one of them. I ask her detailed questions, expecting detailed responses. That way, I actually know what is happening with her. I actually know what is happening with her. So there must be age-appropriate conversations. Now, if as parents, because with the time given to me and one slot in this conference, we can't break this down. This is a whole new course on its own. You should go and seek knowledge. Look, for those of you that don't want to pay, those of us that parents, we like free things, go on Google and look for what you are looking for. At least that will help you a bit. Every stage of development of your child, there is an appropriate conversation on drug abuse that you must have with that child. So when the child is, for instance, 3 years old to 5 years old, that's what you should teach. Please don't go and start exposing the children to what they should not know at a particular age. So as parents, go and gain knowledge on the age-appropriate conversations you should have with your children. A critical part of these conversations is to teach and encourage healthy coping mechanisms. Teach and encourage healthy ways to deal with stress, deal with anxiety, deal with peer pressure, coping mechanisms such as exercise, hobbies, open communication. These are what is embedded in drug abuse conversation. Did you hear me talk about cocaine? Did you hear me talk about heroin? Did you hear me talk about any of these things? At particular ages, you can't even mention these things to children. Sometimes part of what is embedded in drug abuse conversations is life skills training. When we have these conversations, it should be evidence-based, not from a moral point of view. Evidence-based training, life skills training, problem-solving skills. Do you intentionally create safe problems for your children to solve? If you are doing that, then you are teaching them to avoid the issue of drug abuse. That is a prevention technique. Problem-solving skills, communication skills, assertiveness, time management, refusal skills. Are you teaching your children these life skills? If you aren't, you are wrong. Number 3, we must pay attention to our parenting partners. Pay attention to parenting partners. Pay attention to parenting partners. Very important. Pay attention to parenting partners. Somebody might ask, who are parenting partners? Parenting partners are those individuals who partake in the responsibility of raising a child together. This partnership can take many forms. We have aunties, we have uncles, we have drivers, we have domestic staff, we have legal guardians. Parenting partners can negatively influence the life of a child in various ways. Sometimes unintentionally and some other times on purpose. A story I've told over the years many times about a young girl. I was speaking in their church on drug abuse. I looked at the young girl. I walked towards where she was sitting. Her head was down. I tapped her on her back. She looked up to me, hair tattered, her eyes dilated. I knew there was a problem. I spoke to the head teacher and I said, there's a problem with this young girl. We need to get her help immediately. She said, what sort of a problem? I said, I think she's using drugs. She said, don't say that. Her father is an elder in church, and her father is very intentional about protecting his family name. I said, this is not about the father. This is about a young girl that needs help. She said, what do we do? I said, invite the parents. She said, it's a very dangerous thing to invite the parents. So I said, invite them. So the parents came over and I talked to them. I said, look, this is what's happening. True to the words of this teacher, the father got very angry. He said, you mean you are saying my daughter is using drugs? I said, yes, sir. He said, what if I'm lying? I said, I have a test kit here. And I will test her for drugs. We'll get the results under 10 minutes. So he said, you are insulting my family, young man. I said, I'm sorry, sir. I'm not insulting your family. I'm trying to help the young girl. Cut the long story short. The mothers appealed to the conscience of the father, and we invited the young girl in. She came in, and I spoke to her. Less than 10 minutes, she burst out crying. What's the problem? Yes, she has been using drugs. How did she start using drugs? Her uncle, say with me, parenting partners. Her uncle, the younger brother of the father, who was deported from the United States, came back, started giving her edibles. Parents, what are edibles? Let me see your hands up. You know what edibles are? These are things like biscuits, chocolates that are infused with substances, with marijuana. So she started eating it and getting intoxicated. And in one of those days that happened, the uncle slept with her. And then this repeated itself a couple of times. And for her not to remember what happened, he now started giving her another drug called Refnol. Refnol is a powerful sedative that wipes the memory of a person, makes you not remember what is happening to you. Sorry, I hope we can still see me. NEPA has done what NEPA knows how to do best. Hopefully the generator will come on soon, but let's not get distracted. So he gave her Refnol. And then that Refnol was making her not to even remember what was happening in her class. And that was the period of WAEC. So she couldn't even recall what she was reading for her exams, which was very, very painful. So I told the father, I said, so you see that I was right. We need to now get help for this young girl. We need to watch out for our parenting partners. I have another story, but because of time, I might not be able to tell. A young boy who got into drug use because his father's driver was a smoker. He used to smoke cigarettes. And that young boy picked that habit from the driver. And up till this day, it's been over 10 years. He has gone into other several hard drugs. Nobody even knows where the driver is again. That's the irony of it. Nobody knows where the driver is again, but the young boy is now neck deep into drug use and cannot come out of it. The next one we'll look at is creating systems and structures in the home. Creating systems and structures in the home. Please know that systems and structures are a cardinal point of being a proactive parent. Some of us lead homes that are structureless, that are without systems, to the detriment of our children. Some of us run our homes like motor parks. Anything and everything can happen at any time. It ought not to be so. There should be time for everything. Your home should run like clockwork. One of the advantages of creating systems and structures for your child is self-regulation. Self-regulation is born out of routines that help children develop self-discipline and time management. Of course, among other skills that help to reduce drug abuse in our homes. It is important that we establish clear rules about drug use and its consequences for breaking those rules. We must consistently enforce those rules. And then finally, number 5, we're going to talk about being a present parent. You must be a present parent. You cannot prevent drug abuse in the home in absentia. No, it doesn't work. You have to be a present parent to see and to observe. You must be a present parent to have the conversations we talked about. You must be a present parent to build strong relationships, foster strong bonds within the family through quality time spent together and positive reinforcement. You also must be a present parent to encourage your children to live right. In the story I told in the opening, when we're still talking about drug use among young people, we can see that that young girl, that 13-year-old girl, did not have present parents to cater for her needs. And she's currently in search of a donor kidney at the age of 13. You must be present to monitor and to supervise. You must be present to be aware of your children's activities, their social circles. You need to know where they are and who they are with, especially during vulnerable times in their adolescence age. It is better to be a present parent than to give presents. I'll take that again. It is better to be present than to buy presents. Part of the reason why you must be present is to create and supervise a drug-free environment in the home. Is to create and supervise a drug-free environment in the home. As parents, you must be present to ensure that prescription medication and other potentially harmful substances are stored securely and away from children and only used as prescribed. Other possible intoxicants like cleaning agents should be kept away from the reach of children. You shouldn't delegate this responsibility to stewards. It is highly important that you pay attention to what is happening when you are present. Of course, you can't do that when you are absent. So I think with these 5 points, if we truly implement these strategies, families can create a supportive and nurturing environment that reduces the risk of drug abuse and promotes overall well-being of the children. So with this, I'd like to round up for today. reminding us that it is, as parents, our statutory responsibility to prevent drug use in our families and in turn in the society. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you to our coach for giving me the opportunity to share today. I want to say, well done, the great work you are doing. May God bless you in Jesus' precious name. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Can you hear me? Can
Yes,
you hear
yes,
me?
hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Because of your short of time, I will just be putting up the questions, a few questions that you can just say. You can't take all, there are plenty. And I already know that you're running short of time. God bless you for this session. It's such an honor to host you in this conference. I know how tight your schedules are. I am so grateful that you're doing this with and for us. Please, before you leave, take a few of the questions so that will be a bit light. One of the things that keep hammering in my head in your session was, we can pay for everything as parents, but we cannot pay for courses. We can't pay for knowledge. We can pay for TV, pay for hairs, pay for all the frivolities you can think of. I call them frivolities many times because we do not prioritize what is required of us. And that's why when you were emphasizing on that, I said, okay, Coach David knows where the problem lies. Thank you so much, sir. The session was so insightful and people are raving you in the comments. I'm trying to get the questions so you can attend to a few of them. Jane. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Let me be sending you the. I'm wondering why these questions are. You can see the screen, right?
Uh, I can't see the comments. I can't see the comments.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let me get them myself from this end. Please, Jane, if you can hear me, put down that your question again. I saw quite a number of questions and I can't seem to see them now. Please, can you refer to your questions if you put the question in the comments? I'm trying to get them now and I can't seem to see. People are thanking you for the brilliant session, for the insightful session, and all that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I can't seem to see those questions. I hope they will send their questions before you leave in the next 1 minute. I saw quite a number of them and I'm trying to get them now. I can't seem to see them again. But in the meantime, I want to tell every parent listening to us that this is a cankerworm, and I know that Okay, let me show you one of the questions, the one I can see now. First, what age can we start drug and drug abuse conversation? I was wanting to talk about that, but you can say something briefly on that.
Uh, from the age of as early as age 5, of course, from the ages of 3, 4, there are certain skills that you should already imbibe in your children that will create resilience in them against drug use. But then from the age of 5, you can actually start having proper conversations with them. Like I said, you need to gain knowledge on what is okay to say and what is not okay to say in every developmental stage of the child. So you don't want to you don't want to tweak their curiosity and make a bad thing out of something they're trying to do that is good. So you need to get that skill as a parent. You need to get that knowledge to understand what to tell them at each stage of their lives.
Thank you, sir. And I know that Coach David also runs a hackathon program for children of different ages and even the parents. We are part of that program. We've been in that program for a few years now. And all the parents listening to me now, we're going to be sharing it across our platforms. Get knowledge for this journey. It is not something you just say is one-off. It is not one-off thing. It's a journey and it's a process, and our children are developing at different milestones. You need to know what to do. So asking here at what age will not still give a holistic answer, but if you get into the program and register with children in those programs, it will give you a headway and you begin to take it bit by bit as they grow. So we need to understand that it is a journey of knowledge, and if you're not knowledgeable, if you're not seeking knowledge, you will destroy your children. That's the truth. The next question says, is it good to divorce a spouse who is involved in drugs? Okay, I think it's clearer here. For a spouse who is an addict and has refused help, is it a good reason for separation or divorce for the sake of the children, or is there something else to do instead of giving up?
Okay, thank you very much. We've had several cases of spouses who have come to say their wife or their husband is using substances, and it's not getting any better. So they're thinking about themselves or their children and how the best way to go forward. So basically now this is we need to look at this holistically. There's no straightforward answer to this. I can't say yes, it's good for you to divorce your spouse because he or she is not getting help. What you need to do is to actually see you in particular, you need to now see a professional who is going to look at the case properly, because there are certain times when you think that the spouse is not wanting to get help, and it's actually not like that. It's not black and white. So there are times that you need to actually seek professional help for proper analysis, evaluation, and in case there's need for screening of the spouse, if he's going to agree or she's going to agree, before you can make a decision. So I think divorce is always the last resort when you have tried everything else. So it's too, like I said, it's not black or white. I can't just say for verbatim, yes, divorce your spouse because he or she is not getting help. Let the matter be taken to the relevant professionals to look into it and know what is the best line of action for you.
Okay, lastly, please help us take this. Other questions can wait, and then we can get Coach David's details so we can take it up from here. Like I've always said, this conference is, as it ends, then the journey begins. The journey of excavation, the journey of inner work, which is actually the journey of knowledge. So it's not, this conference cannot give us all the answers to our day-to-day activities in our journey. The last question we want to give Coach David before he runs out is, can someone get to the stage where they cannot be redeemed in drug abuse?
No, no, no. You can't get to a stage where you're not being redeemed. There's help available. Start by crying out to get out. You need to seek professional help. Don't keep it to yourself. If you've tried before and it didn't work, still come out. I'm a living example. I'm a living testimony of someone. My uncle. I hope he might be watching this. I'm not sure. He told me to my face that he had condemned me. He told me that I was a write-off. That there was nothing good that can come out of David anymore. But look at me today. God is using me to help others. So no, there's no situation where a person can get to where they can be redeemed again in drug abuse.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. Such an honor to have you again. We are grateful. We'll, we'll get all the details that we need about Coach David, his handles, and everything. We'll share it in the platform later, and then we'll take it up from there. Coach David also launched a new book, 12 Pillars. Coach David, what's the name again? The 12 Pillars of
12
Drug
pillars
something.
the 12 pillars of prevention.
Okay, great. Okay, great. We'll get all the details from you later because I want most especially let's build a home tribe who are in our annual program where we help parents of young children walk through the journey of this level where that the children are. We want to get the details so that every one of us can have that book and also get in tune with the programs that are coming up. Thank you so much, sir. We are grateful to have you, and we know that when next you call, you will answer us. Thank you so
Definitely.
much for coming. We
Thank
are
you. God
grateful.
bless
Thank you so
you.
much.
The rest of the conference. Bye for now.
Everybody is reviewing in the comment. Oh, yes, yes, please, so that you can run because of time. Okay. Thank you, everybody who was part of this conversation. You already know that from this conversation, there's nothing like we have heard it, we have learned it. It is a daily journey and a daily experience. That's why we run the tribe. The tribe is where we now begin to do the work. The tribe is where we begin to do the learnings. There's nothing that we will say in this conference that is not just the beginning of the journey. Whatever we hear. Just last week, three parents reached out to me on this same issue, and with young children of 11, 10, and 9, right? It was this same Coach David that I, spoke to and gave out his numbers, and it's been ongoing because a lot of children, because they feel bored, they just cannot stay without being glued to the screen and all that. So the little space where they cannot also build resilience, self-discipline, time management, and all the soft skills like David has also outlined. The next thing is that they get into addiction of one thing or the other. And this is one of the modern parenting challenges. And if you're not equipping yourself daily, you are also running a risk, right? So we need to understand that this is just the beginning of the journey. So if you have not registered for the Build Your Home Tribe program, David will also be in the tribe monthly webinar sometime within the year so that he can also specifically take personal questions from the tribers. And this is one of the benefits of being in the tribe. You get personalized questions, you get personalized answers, you get personalized solutions to your own challenges, right? So we need to understand that this is a journey. So thank you everybody who was part of this session. The next session is coming up by 6. Please make sure you do not miss out on that session. Invite everybody in your circle, let them be part of that session. So we are going off from the first session and we will be here back by 6 p.m. So if you're not in our community on WhatsApp, on Telegram and all that, please join that community so you can get notifications as soon as we get back online. God bless you and see you again in the next session. Bye everyone. Mm.